Welcome to Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each week, an inside look into sports, into wellness, into fitness. Today, the spotlight on the West Salem Boys Basketball program with first-year head coach Steve Kastenschmidt, along with two student athletes, Hunter Wakefield and Dyaln Godlewski. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
As we tape the show today, we celebrate Martin Luther King Day. Pretty special day. He addressed social injustice, as we know, and he was a hero to many. In fact, he was a hero to me, and he inspired me just because of what he stood for and what he said. Let's start the show kind of a unique way. Who inspired you in your life, Coach?
You know, I grew up on a farm in Mindoro, and I guess, you know, my parents were hardworking. You know, we milk cows, and, you know, if you do work and you're on the farm and you do that sort of stuff, and it's kind of one of those things that they inspire you. Like, hard work has always been a part of it, and so I think my parents were probably the two that inspired me the most. And
interesting beginning, because my roots are on a farm in Ettrick, milking cows, and I read a book, the values in this world. Much of it was learned at the end of dirt-covered roads. It's an interesting book. Values that you learned on the farm?
Values is like every day you've got to keep working as hard as you can, because, you know, things that happen and it's not always easy. I mean, things don't always flow the way that, you know, things break down, you know, and it was, you know, sometimes it was sun up to sundown, and I mean, that's kind of the work ethic that I have now, and the work ethic that we're trying to get pushed into the boys, you know, at West Salem Basketball also. So
Hunter Wakefield, great student athlete, and we're going to learn more about you, but who inspired you?
I'd have to agree with Coach, my parents, with all the values that they've instilled in me and just what they've taught me, just like hard work always pays off.
Yeah, and Dyaln Godlewski sitting next to me, and I was inspired by the way both of you played, but you came to life in that game against GET, and we're going to break that down a little bit, but just think back, who has inspired you in your life?
My dad has inspired me. He's always a hard-working man. He's barely ever around the house. So when he's not around the house, he's working. He does 2 jobs. One's self, and then the other he does plowing for his buddy.
So plowing, like, on the snow day today? In other words, He was busy.
He was out last night plowing all the roads.
But he's not too busy to go to his son's games, I'll bet.
No.
Because he's at all of those.
Yeah, he always finds time for that.
Well, Coach, first-year head coach. Must have been special back in early December when the very first year head coach got his very first win against
Viroqua, yeah.
Talk about that.
Well, yeah, it was one of those guys, and we played really well against Toma, and I thought maybe that was going to be the one. We battled back, and we had a chance at the end, and it just kind of slipped away, and then we went to Viroqua, and we got one, and you know, I was getting text messages, hey, congratulations on your first win, you know, and my kids were texting me, and a lot of the parents from the team, you know, shook my hand and stuff and said, yeah, hey, congratulations, you got your first one. And I said, well, hopefully there's many more to come, you know. So, yeah, that was pretty fun.
Well, I remember Steve Kastenschmidt as a student athlete at Melrose Mindoro. I remember working games when you played. And you had a great career at Melrose Mindoro. Talk about that.
I'm four-sport athlete. I mean, at those days, you know, you could play baseball. You had summer baseball, so it was fun. I mean, we had a lot of friends. I mean, it was. I guess the one thing that's probably different nowadays was you didn't get in the weight room as much as we do now, or we try to, you know. But growing up on the farm, you know, it kind of felt like, you know, it was a good escape to get away. You played athletics as hard as you could because it was a good escape. But our football team was all right. Made it to sectionals in basketball, and we did some good things. Yeah, so it was a fun time.
Good.
So.
You talked about your kids. I remember all 3 of your boys being great athletes. Real quickly, give us an update on them.
Okay, so Tyler, who graduated in 2012, played at Viterbo University, played basketball there. He lives in Edina, Minnesota now. And Trent, who graduated 2015, is at UW-Platteville now, played football there. And Trevor, my youngest that graduated just last year, 2017, is at UW-Stout, so, and member of the baseball team up there. So.
Empty nested like Terry and Sue.
Yeah, it's been going all right.
You don't have grandchildren yet.
No, not
and
yet.
We have 15.
Oh.
So we have enough things going on in our life. But speaking of good athletes, Hunter Wakefield. Impressive season so far. And by the way, and a state champ in baseball.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a defining moment. Reflect really quickly on that.
The championship game.
Well, just the ride wasn't
the ride. The ride was fun. So we made it through. We survived the Arcadia game in regionals. We pulled that out. That was scary. And then into sectionals, we were struggling with pitching, and I didn't really have much pitching experience varsity-wise that year. And then they walked up to me and told me that I was going to start the sectional final game, and so I don't know. It wasn't really. I didn't really feel nervous because I guess I had all my teammates around me, just kind of like, and they trusted me, and I trusted them behind me, and everything like that. So
another baseball player too.
Yeah.
So you a defining moment, but keep in mind that when you reach that plateau of success, it's not a matter of admiring your trophy, your medal, and your success. It's an inspiration to work harder. Is that how you see it?
Yeah. Always getting to work hard with your teammates is the best, especially at practice when we're working on the little things that helped us progress towards the state title that we hoisted.
You know what impresses me about you, Dylan, is that you put student before athlete. Mm-hmm. Looking at your resume, looking at highest honor roll, looking at what you're accomplishing in the classroom, does that come naturally? Is that part of what your parents' expectations are?
Yeah, my mom was a good student in school too, and so was my dad. My mom both my parents always pushed me to do my homework at home and get it all done and study for tests.
So it doesn't come entirely easy, it's just because you make that extra effort.
Yeah, it's just the hard work.
And Hunter, look at this, highest honor roll each semester. That come easy?
No, there's definitely a lot of late nights staying up, like especially after games. Like there's been a few nights this season where you're up until 1 because you get home so late from Viroqua or Westby or something like that. And then it's focusing in class and then going to practice and then coming home and working on all that every day. And it takes a lot of effort, but it's worth it.
It's kind of a life lesson on what's going to be needed in your life in order to achieve the goals you set for yourself. It comes from wearing out your shoes in terms of making an effort each and every time. It comes from learning values on the farm, and there's no question about it. Well, Coach, you just finished a game this past weekend. You've had a busy week. Right now you're 5-8 and 3-3 in the Cooley Conference. Mm-hmm. 10-point loss to Neilsville just on Saturday as we tape the show again on Monday. Reflect on that game.
That game, part of that night was, or that afternoon, I guess, we had some kids that were sick. We were missing 3 of our guys. So that was kind of a different challenge. Our rotation was a little different, getting guys in and out. We got in some foul trouble up there. Some officiating crew that was calling everything. We talked about this on the way down too, that it was challenging because it just didn't seem like we could get anything flow going in the game. So yeah, that was a tough loss for us. That was a team that I felt going up there that we had a legitimate chance to really beat. They're 8-1 though, so they are a good team. I mean, but I felt like we played well enough to win the game, just slipped away at the end. So
those darn guys with stripes just kind of took away the flow of the game and kind of made it difficult. But I'm sure that maybe I've done some of that. I hope not, but I think that does have an impact on how you play, because they're not going to adjust to you, and unfortunately you have to adjust to their style.
Right, and I don't think we did that well. I mean, we kind of got uptight a little bit. We tried to relax, and it just didn't happen for us. But I think the nice thing about it, we'll learn from that. And as the season moves on, we'll do a better job of adjusting to that sort of things as we progress.
Exactly, and losses are and many times more beneficial than wins if you self-examine what happened and then go from there. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yeah, well, I agree.
We're going to take a quick break, and we come back more as we profile West Salem basketball right after this.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven River Sports. Today, the spotlight on West Salem Boys Basketball. Great to have them on the show. Steve Kastenschmidt, Hunter Wakefield, Dyaln, Godlewski. We were courtside on January 7th. And talk about picking the right game to broadcast. And I happened to be fortunate enough to be there. And we were not 100% sure it was going to be a great game. There was maybe a lot of other people. But those that were doubters were wrong, because you ended up beating GT, who has won, I think, 8 straight Cooley Conference championships, 62-57. And I saw the excitement after the game from courtside, and it must have been just spectacular and something that perhaps you're still feeling the remnants of. Is that right, Coach?
Yeah, it was an exciting time. I mean, GT is at the top of the conference. They're the team in the area to beat in the Cooley, and Mark does a nice job up there. And if we're going to put our program anywhere, we want to get to that level. I mean, that's So then, when you get an opportunity to play well and beat them in a game at home, and in front of our own crowd, yeah, it was exciting. I mean, the kids were excited. Our coaching staff was, jumping up and down, and yeah, and like I told the boys the next Monday, I said, I'm sure you got plenty of pats on the back and hey, good job and congratulations and stuff, and that was a good feeling, but we have to it can't be our season.
Exactly.
We talked about
a defining moment, but something to build on. But you made a statement here a little bit ago. You said that's what we want our program to be like someday. How are you going to do that?
Well, we've started at the lower levels. I mean, been Saturday mornings I do Pee Wee basketball for kindergarten, first grade, second grade kids. We bring our varsity guys with. They help out. Little kids come to the game and they're like, "Oh, remember he was here last Saturday and helped them." We're just trying to build excitement about what West Salem basketball can be. I mean, the community's starting to be around us. We've got great youth programs. Our numbers are really high, and I think that's how we're going to do it.
It's a growing community, of course. Enthusiasm. There's an old saying: don't do anything in the world, in your life, lukewarm. Submerge yourself with passion and enthusiasm, right. And that's exactly right. Mm-hmm. And you showed that, even though you got down early in that game against GET. You were resilient, and you came back, and you just methodically brought the team back to that win. Well, Hunter Wakefield. Leadership, National Honor Society, Youth Frontiers, Link Crew, you demonstrate leadership because an athlete is on a platform, and you recognize that, don't you? Mm-hmm. Because you're a leader. How do you demonstrate leadership in those groups and around the community?
It's almost by leading by example. You want to be somebody that everybody looks up to, and I try to do that as much as I can, and I hope that I do that, and I think I do at least.
Well, I know you do. Yeah. Because I did a little research on you, and they said you do. I'm just kidding.
That's good.
And Dylan too. I know you're involved in leadership groups, and besides being on the highest honor roll, which displays and academics, as we talked about, but you're a leader because you're a senior, and you young kids look up to you, and you always obviously keep that in the forefront of your mind. How do you do that?
Oh, well, I always want to be a leader and show what a good leader can be. So I'd go out every night and do that and show the little kids that are there what a good leader will be.
Seniors have to deal with drama sometimes. There's drama in the NBA, there's drama in youth basketball, there's drama in life. You got to be able to handle drama when you are a leader and a senior. How do you do that, Hunter?
It's you try to hold up expectation with everybody and try to make relationships on the team as better as they can, because if everybody gets along well and there's no drama, then the team kind of meshes, and then things turn out like the GT game like we want it to, and then you beat good teams, get good wins, and then you get on a roll.
You're all about hard work, aren't you?
Yeah.
What's your favorite saying regarding hard work? I think it's something about it doesn't come easy.
Yeah, it doesn't come easy, but I forgot exactly what I wrote down.
Close enough.
Yeah.
It doesn't come easy because are you going to take that lesson in the next chapter of your life? Because you have 5 months left, and then you move to the next chapter.
Yeah.
Life lessons you learn on the court from coach and so on. Where are we going to see you in a few years and maybe in 10, 20 years down the line?
Yeah, and it keeps going with school and everything. You just got to keep working hard in order to get what you want out of things, and that's especially with college because it gets harder and you're away from home, so you don't have the support that you always want to, so you kind of got to drive yourself a little bit more.
And you're going to go to either UWL or Madison?
Yeah.
Career?
I have interest in medical field, but I don't really have. It's kind of like a broad interest.
Okay,
right now.
so you have the aptitude to do that, obviously.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It displays in your honor roll. If I asked the teammates, and you weren't there, to describe you, what would they say, Dylan?
They would probably say I'm always smiling or laughing. I always bring a good, fun attitude wherever I am.
So you're the kind of person that people like to be around?
Yeah.
Because you pick people up.
Mm-hmm.
Does that come natural?
No. My mom and dad are always fun people to be around too, and my uncle and sisters. So my whole family is
That's a
fun
pretty
to be around.
Incredible characteristic. Not a lot of people have that.
Mm-hmm.
So next chapter of your life, because in 5 months or less, it's all over with.
Yeah. I plan to go to a 4-year college, either between Madison or UWL. And then career-wise, I'm looking into engineering or architecture.
Good. Coach, everybody has a different style of play, and every team has sort of their own identity. How would you describe the West Salem identity?
I think right now what we're trying to do is, early on in the season, I thought we tried to push the ball a little bit more, and so I think our identity right now is to just take care of the ball, to run our offense, to get good looks. I mean, if we play too fast, it seems like we turn the ball over too much. So I think our identity right now is we just take care of the ball, get good looks every single time. And defensively, we need to play a little harder. I think at times I think we do, but we haven't really got that totally figured out defensively yet. So I would say right now our best game plan is, if offensive we take care of the ball, limit teams to possessions. That's how we win games. So.
Hard work wins a heck of a lot of games, and so does toughness, according to Jay Billis and his book on mental toughness, physical toughness, handling officials that take you out of the game. I mean, just the whole world is about just being tough. That doesn't mean physically tough. Beating up on somebody just means leading your life in a tough way. What do you think of this particular quote? Keep your eye on the spirit of the game, not just on the scoreboard. What do you think about that, Hunter?
I take that as, if the game isn't really going your way, say you're down by a lot, it's more, you shouldn't look at the scoreboard in terms of that point if you're not going to come back. You kind of have to you got to play with pride. You still have to play hard. You can't just give up, because like we were in the GT game at halftime, scoreboard wasn't really our way, but then we kept our pride going and we fought our way back in and we found a way to win it. So,
how about this one? The real mark of a West Salem basketball star, like you, is how good he makes his teammates. Does that describe you?
Yeah, I always try and make my teammates the best that they can be, whether that be passing them the ball and believing that they can make the shot or believing that they can handle the ball.
Selflessness is the holy grail of basketball, meaning giving yourself up to help others. Do you teach that in other lessons, Coach?
Yeah, I think we do. We talk about that at time. We use a quote, and I use a quote a lot in practice. I said, give the ball up to get it back, include your teammates. I mean, and I think we talk about that, just being there for each other all the time is kind of an important part of, we've had some kids sick and, we've asked, hey, how do you think they're doing and stuff like that. So I think we're trying to create a family attitude so we're concerned about everybody. But yeah, I think we incorporate that.
Good. I'm sure you do. Well, as we close the show, you got 9 games left. Yep. And then I'm looking at your schedule. It's like Friday, February 9th. High drama in Red Hawk Nation because the West Salem Panthers are coming back, and a wounded animal is dangerous. A wounded animal in the form of a Red Hawk is dangerous. When you walk into that gym on February 9th, like, whoa.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, we're anticipating it's going to be a different atmosphere than. Those are the boys. Mark will have them ready to play. We know that. So.
But 5-8, 3-3 in the Cooley, and your goal is to stay on that top tier. I'm sure of the Cooley come February 15th when you play Westby at West Salem, and you just defeated Westby. At Westby.
Yep.
So that was a big win because, the Westby program, obviously, with Bob Constantly just getting inducted into the WBC Hall of Fame. So, well, it's gone by awful quick, but it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. Coming from West Salem, that growing community, just a little bit to the east of us, it's been fun to have you on. So. We wish you the best of luck this rest of the season and in the rest of your career and whatever chapter you decide to pursue next. So thanks for being on the show.
All right. Thank you.
All right, we'll be back with some film clips of a big game we covered recently right after this.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
Who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. Your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports, and hope you enjoyed our interview today. The spotlight on the West Salem Boys Basketball program. First-year head coach Steve Kastenschmidt, a program on the rise. Well, an MVC doubleheader on Tuesday at Central High School, and our cameras were there to bring you all of the action. Let's start with the Red Raider girls and the Aquinas Lady Blue Gulls. To no one's surprise, Aquinas raced to a 51-19 halftime lead behind a tenacious defense and an up-tempo offense. Central was able to pick up its offense in the second half, but Dave Donarski and his number 1 ranked Blue Gulls would dominate. 4 players were in double figures, led by Courtney Becker with 15, Taylor Teish 13, Jessa Peterson 12, and Kaya Steiner with 10. Senior Sophie Leinfelder led Central with 15, while Madison Trussoni followed with 8. Aquinas has won 33 consecutive MVC games and is still undefeated at 18-0. Central had won 2 straight conference games and fell to 7-13 on the season. Final score, Aquinas 85 and Central 49. Well, time for the boys' version of the intercity doubleheader. Central ranked 5th in Division II versus Coach Brad Reinhardt and the Aquinas Blue Gulls. Aquinas appeared ready, taking a 35-32 halftime lead behind great defense and a disciplined offense. Central would get on track in the second half, outscoring the Blue Goals by 13. Aquinas was led by senior Conley Malone with 24, followed by Brandon Murfelt with 18 and Jacob Salvadelli with 10. Todd Fergo's Red Raiders were led by 4 players in double figures, Johnny Davis with 13, Jordan Davis 16, and Terrence Thompson, along with Noah Parcher, 10 points each. Central moves to 16-2, while Aquinas drops to 10-9. Final score from Central: Red Raiders 77 and the Blue Goals 67. Well, as we share each week with you, we appreciate you joining us each and every week here on Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping you will have an active and a healthy week ahead.